I was struggling to pay a bill and somebody wrote me a check for my bill, you know. So within the first 72 hours, I got over $300. It's crazy.
Peace and love, family. All right, here we go. 6 years of SHREEM BRZEE. My SHREEM BRZEE story thus far. All right, part one, here we go. So, starting off, you know, the first SHREEM BRZEE video I ever made after I had my results right, you know, was on January 15th, 2018. So, the video I dropped was, oh, SHREEM BRZEE really works, $300 in 72 hours, right? You know, I was already on YouTube, you know, making videos, you know, doing a little bit of teaching. I was mainly, you know, making organite and crystals and teaching, you know, mainly on that stuff, you know, and other general spirituality topics and stuff like that or whatever. So, so yeah, so my SHREEM BRZEE, so I discovered SHREEM BRZEE 3 days before, you know, that video. So I guess, you know, I discovered SHREEM BRZEE on what, January 12th, 2018. So what happened was I was getting ready for work, right? I was about to go to work. I was a bouncer at a club, you know, and, you know, I used to be a little bit bigger, you know, play football and all that, you know, I had a little bit more muscle on me. On my way to get ready to go to work at the club, right? I was working at a club downtown San Antonio, right? I was looking for affirmations and, you know, law of attraction stuff, how to manifest money. Hey, you know, I, you know, just got out of college not too long ago, and, you know, I got to pay back all these loans. How am I going to do this? I need money now. So I was looking up some, you know, law of attraction videos. So I had played one video repeating the affirmation, I'm a money magnet, you know, money comes to me easily and effortlessly, you know, I love money, you know, I'm a money magnet. Whoop-de-whoop, it kept playing, you know. After that video played, right after that was Dr. Palai's video of him chanting SHREEM BRZEE 108 times. So, right after I listened to that video, you know, I turned my YouTube off, finished getting ready for work, went to work. When I got to work, I was working by the VIP section. So it was a couple had came in there, you know what I mean? And I was, you know, working VIP, you know, and in charge of the seating. So it was towards the end of the show. It was about like an hour left, maybe 45 minutes left. And a couple was trying to get into VIP, and I was like, hey, you know, unfortunately, all the hostesses that are in charge of, you know, letting you purchase a VIP section seat, they're all gone for the night, you know what I mean? So I'm like, you can't get no VIP seat anymore. And they're like, hey, man, dang, like, you know what? And they was like, all right, can I just check out with you? I was like, no, I can't do that, you know what I mean? And they had probably like, you know, VIP seating was pretty expensive, so they probably had like, I think initially like around like, you know, probably like almost $100 ready. It was like, you know, ready to pay or whatever. They was like, I can't pay you. I was like, nah, you can't. He just kept begging me to sit. I was like, man, I really, you know, I'm like, it's really, you know, the end of the show. I'm like, you really wouldn't want to even pay that much money to sit here just for like the last 45 minutes, you know, you're wasting your money. And so I was like, man, I was just about to let him sit there for free, and I was like, man, you know what? It's all good. You know, it's only like, at this point, we've been talking for a minute, so I'm like, it's about like 35 minutes left of the show. I was like, you can go ahead and sit there. And he was like, oh, cool, thanks. And he just, you know, was handing me a 20. I was like, nah, I'm good. I can't take tips. He's like, nah, he was damn near stuffing it in my pocket. So took the tip from him. So boom. At the end of the night, went home. I was like, you know what? I don't never get tips at work. I got a $20 little, you know, tip from this guy. You know, I wasn't trying to take it. I was trying to, you know, do what I'm supposed to or whatever, you know. And, you know, he forced this money on me. So I'm like, yeah, man, that's funny, you know. So I knew in my head, I'm like, it had to be that SHREEM BRZEE video that was playing. And so, After that night, I played it all night while I was sleeping, you know, because I'm like, oh, I got that $20 tip that don't ever happen. It had to be SHREEM BRZEE. So played it all night while I was sleeping, woke up the next morning, went to work again. Went to work again. While I was at work, this time it was, you know, a little concert, and I was I was at the front gate in charge of admissions or whatever. I was, you know, ripping tickets or whatever, checking people in, you know. So this one couple, they were like, hey man, we got some extra tickets, we don't need them. Boom, gave me 2 tickets, you know. I'm like, okay, cool. A dude that was like 1 or 2 people behind that person, he saw that happen, and he was like, hey man, how much for them tickets right there? You know what I mean? I was like, man, I really would give you these for free. I'd have gave them to you for free. You know what I mean? I don't really, you know, I can't do nothing with these tickets. So he was like, hey, how much for the, you know, those tickets? And I was like, hey, you know, here you go. I was like, I ain't trying to, you know, I ain't charging you nothing. You can just have them. I was like, here, you can just have them. He was like, oh, I appreciate it. And he handed me a 20 again. You know, this dude handed me a 20. I'm like, ah, nah, you good. And he was like, no, take it. I really appreciate it. And I was like, man, all right. And so, once again, another $20 after I played the SHREEM BRZEE mantra, you know. So, boom. 2 days in a row, I'm convinced. I'm like, yes, it was definitely that SHREEM BRZEE. I'm hooked now. I'm like, yeah, it's definitely SHREEM BRZEE. So, I played it again all night when I got back from work on that second, you know, night. Played it all night for the second night in a row. So woke up on that third day, and then I was writing it. That was the first time I wrote it. I wrote it all day, wrote it in purple ink, you know, a couple sets of 108, and then boom, later on that day, got my car note paid for. You know, out of nowhere, my dad was like, hey, you know, he was like, how much is your car note? I was like, hey, whoop-de-whoop, told him, and then he was like, hey, you know, here's a check for it. I was like, what the heck? Out of nowhere. So boom, third day. Right after that, I made the video. SHREEM BRZEE really works. $300 in 72 hours. And boom, you know, it was history from there. You know, that video went a little bit viral, you know, and kind of sprung off the YouTube journey. And it's been a wrap ever since. So fast forward, that was discovered it, you know, January 15th, you know, that was January 2018. Fast forward some months later, been doing it for some months now. I went from, you know, that was a little part-time security job. This was after college or whatever, so I was just trying to, you know, pay back loans or whatever, so I ain't really count that as a job. So I'll say that's like maybe like one job, maybe really like half a job, you know what I mean? I just always, you know, whenever I need some work, need some money, he always lets me, you know, work security, you know. Usually I can be like, hey, you know, you need some extra security tonight? He's like, yeah, you know what I mean? So I don't really count that as a job. So I'll say that's 0 jobs. Few months fast forward, you know, with SHREEM BRZEE, I went from 0 jobs to 4 jobs. That's when I made another video, no jobs to 4 jobs in a few months, right? Each job, I was, you know, it was 4 jobs, you know, back to back, you know, back to back to back or whatever. Each job was, you know, it was, you know, hard labor jobs like, you know, moving and all that or whatever, but each job was more pay, and I was having to break my back less and less. So each job got better and easier and made more money. So I'm like, SHREEM BRZEE is making me move on up. I'm getting, you know, it's, you know, financially making me progress. I'm not going backwards anymore. So I'm like, okay, there must be something to this mantra. And then fast forward to August 2018 is when I got the job that I was at for 5 years, and that really turned things around. So I'll talk about that August 2018, you know, the job I got in part 2. So stick around, family. Love y'all. Peace.